What's up, everybody? Welcome to In Love with Horror. I'm AJ.
And I'm Christy.
And y'all, this is our spoiler-free review of MaXXXine. So maybe you've seen our out-of-theater reaction, so you kind of already know where we stand a little bit, but we're going to use this opportunity to dive into more details about why it is where we stand on MaXXXine. This will definitely be an interesting conversation because it's been about 2 days now that we've seen this, and more people are starting to watch this film. And it's definitely become like a film creating a lot of controversial debate because it's definitely a mixed bag across the board in terms of where people stand on MaXXXine and where it sits within this whole X trilogy and just as one of Ty West's films overall. Before we dive into that, y'all, if this is your first time checking out our channel, we're In Love with Horror. We talk about all things horror, whether it be horror movies, TV shows, games. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, y'all, because we got a lot of dope things in store. Of course, we got Long Legs review coming up because that's coming out this week, so that's gonna be a very exciting review. Yeah. And then we got other plans as well, like watch-alongs and things like that. So definitely stay subscribed if you like things horror, because that's all we talk about on this channel. And with that, let's dive into the MaXXXine review, y'all. So off the top, did you want to give like in your overall thoughts before we dive into the specifics?
Did you want to give it an overview of the film first, or?
Oh, well, yeah, okay, I could do that just in case there's somebody who clicked on this and is not too familiar with it. Yeah, you never know. You're right. So MaXXXine, right? MaXXXine, of course, is written and directed by Ty West, and Ty West has done a lot of different things with horror, from movies and TV shows. You name it. He's catalog goes pretty far back. Like he's done The Innkeepers from 2011, House of the Devil from 2009. Of course, he's directed as part of the X trilogy. You got X, Pearl, and then MaXXXine. And of course, he wrote and directed all those films. He's done a lot. And on TV side, I know he's done like a couple episodes of The Exorcist, Wayward Pines, and things like that. So,
more recently, Them.
Oh, he wrote for Them, or he directed one?
He did. Well, he did. Directed 3 episodes, I think. I can't remember.
Oh, that's right. I did, because I did remember seeing his name on there. You're right. Mm-hmm. He might even did one of the finales or something like that. I don't know.
It was the last episode.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He directed that.
That's right. So I mean, dude's got the accolades. A lot of things that a lot of people do actually like. Now, as far as stars in this movie, of course, we got Mia Goth, we got Giancarlo Esposito, we got Simon Press, we got who else? Kevin Bacon. A lot of like dope names for sure within this movie. But if you're not familiar with the X trilogy, it started with X, where a group of adult film stars go to a farm to film, this epic porno movie, and it turns into a slasher film and shit gets crazy. And then you had the prequel to that called Pearl, which was the next film that will get released, which was a prequel where you learn about the
people who did the slashing.
I was trying to think about how to say it without spoiling it, but it is what it is. You learn about the background of the antagonists of the X film. And now you got MaXXXine, which is a direct follow-up to the first in the trilogy, which is X. And it follows MaXXXine as she's in 1980s Hollywood. She's trying to, get her breakthrough in the film industry. She just got a big win being cast for a horror film. So you got kind of like that meta aspect. There's a lot of meta things within this movie. But obviously there's someone who knows about her past and what she was involved in the film X. And it becomes this kind of crime noir of like someone stalking and killing people around her who's doing this. And it kind of goes from there. It's got heavy 80s vibes, much in the way that Pearl had the like, early 1900s vibes. But that's pretty much the film in a nutshell. But now we can go ahead and dive into like our initial overall thoughts. I'll let you go first.
Okay, initial overall thoughts, and continue to be my thoughts about this movie is that I didn't much like it. But I just want to be like fully transparent. Like I don't really like this trilogy at all. Like, so like I thought X was a pretty good movie, but it's not like something I would rewatch again or anything like that. Pearl to me was kind of boring. I didn't really like that one either. And so going into this one, I didn't have high expectations because I didn't like the previous 2 films. But this one, I think I liked some aspects of it, which I also liked aspects of the previous 2 films, because I think Ty West does a really good job with the technical aspects of filmmaking. I think he's a good director, but he lacks in story. Pearl to me was okay, and I think that was because he had some because Mia helped him with writing that one. And now we're back again with him being the sole writer on this one. And I think he just doesn't do story good.
Okay.
And so that one fell flat for me. So in the trilogy, I think it's the order that we got the movies for me. And this one is obviously the weakest one.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm on the opposite in here. I actually liked MaXXXine. I didn't think it was great, but I did think it was good. I really, really liked the cast of characters they had here. I was very intrigued and interested for all the characters in this film. The story, for me, I like the story. I think the biggest thing for me was I didn't like how it concluded. And it's really hard for me to dive into that without spoilers. So when I say conclusion, I'm talking about like, obviously it's like a whodunit type of film. So I didn't really like how they revealed who the actual killer is. I just didn't like how that flowed. I like the overall arc and the conclusion for MaXXXine as a character, but the reveal aspect just didn't feel as fun and engaging for me. But I like the pacing in this film up until the reveal moment. I was really liking this film a lot.
Yeah, you were.
For some reason. Like I was super. It took for me. It was just really engaging. There was something about film as a visual medium, right? It's visually and auditorily engaging, and I felt like it was firing on all cylinders in this movie. There was something about each frame that was like sucking me in. The way it was like shot, and the way it looked, and the way it sounded. Obviously, the '80s vibes was helping, like pull it in, and then just the performances for these characters. Like these people were getting lost in these roles. Like off the top of my head, I can't remember a role that Giancarlo did where he played, this kind of character. And then Kevin Bacon obviously was really good. Mia Goth was really good in this film too. But I don't know. I just think for me, this crime feel to it, it just really worked. And as she's trying to make her claim, make her stake in this industry of the things going on around her. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? What's at play? Like
okay.
Who's doing all this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think all of it was just interesting to me, and I was very curious about how it was going to play out. For me, I am when it comes to mystery stuff.
I don't know
why
mystery
it
was
sucks
there.
into me. I think it was.
I was not lost to this mystery whatsoever. There was no suspense in this. Didn't feel like a thriller, which is what I think you want a movie like this to feel like. Mm-hmm. And for there to be a good slasher, I don't really think there was really any good slashing going on in this.
Yeah,
film.
I will say that you definitely have to go into this film understanding that it's not a slasher movie.
But that's how they present the movie to be.
Is it? Actually,
the whole trilogy
honest,
is a slasher.
I don't remember. I don't remember the
trilogy.
trailers for this film at all.
Even if you don't watch the trailer,
I only watched the trailer once.
This is supposed to, the Hollywood is a killer is the daggone tagline. It's a slasher. It's supposed to be a slasher. This is a slasher trilogy.
It's more like a crime movie though than a slasher because
that's what it is.
Well, that's
not how it's presented to be. It's
because
go ahead.
there are deaths in this movie. They're just not always on screen.
There's deaths in Lifetime movies, and those are not slashers. This is supposed to be a slasher.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
And you're right. They don't. That's the problem with this movie.
Really?
And people are saying it's what is the term is it giallo?
Yeah, like Italian.
Yeah, that
Italian horror.
That's what
slasher.
This is supposed to be closely related to, and this is.
I see those vibes.
I get the vibes, but they don't go to the level of those types of films
in terms of the actual on-screen graphic killing.
Correct.
Yeah, that didn't bother me though. Would I have liked to seen it? Sure, but for me, it didn't take away from the story.
But there was no story. See, that's the thing.
You think there was no story?
No, there's no story. This is very one-dimensional. What you see is what you get, and I don't like that. I don't like that about any of his films. That's why I said, full disclosure, I don't like this trilogy whatsoever.
Yeah.
But now I'm very good friends with people who are fans of this and were very anticipating of this, and they also didn't feel like this movie hit for them. So I don't feel like it's just me, just to be clear.
Well, yeah, so
but initially watching this movie, what did I say to you? I was like, this is boring.
Yeah, you were bored.
This is
I wasn't bored at all.
I was not engaged with these characters. Now, whether performances, I think there were some standout performances that were really good. My favorite was the guy from the video store. I think his name was like Mosley or Moses or something like that. Yeah. I thought he was very like genuine to his character. Also really like Kevin Bacon. I felt like he did get lost in his character. I liked his
actor's
character.
name is Moses Sumney. Yeah, he was a really. Yeah, I did like his character.
Okay, yeah, I really liked him.
Actor, the character is Leon.
And I don't know. I think Giancarlo. I mean, I think he does good in most anything he does, but this wasn't my favorite.
I liked his performance in this. I don't know. There's something about that, like 80s lawyer thing. I don't know. It was working for me. And then the hair and all, like it was hilarious to me.
Now, don't get me wrong. There were some really good scenes in this movie, and I told you that too. Like I really did like him and the like buff dude with the dogs after one certain instance that happened there. I thought that was a good scene. Seeing her do her little audition, I thought she did good with that. I told you, I don't like Mia Goth. I said this in one of the group chats. I mean, I don't like her, but she can act her ass off. Like she is a really good actress. She's great in this. But I don't really like her.
Yeah. So for me, as far as like the trilogy is concerned, X I actually really like. I think that's actually a really good movie. Pearl I actually didn't like as much. I thought, to me, Pearl is actually the weakest of the trilogy. Wow. I like MaXXXine more than Pearl. I was more engaged in this movie than I was Pearl.
I don't know.
Pearl, because it's funny, because you said this movie was boring. I actually think Pearl is more boring than this.
No, I think there was a lot more interesting.
To me, like I felt like there was more going on in this. Like I was just more intrigued on just the whole thing with like the Night Stalker and all these elements. That just felt way more intriguing.
The Night Stalker elements, like the Night Stalker thing, was a very prevalent thing in the trailer, and you even mentioned that when you watched the trailer. But that actually didn't even need to happen in this movie. I get why it was happening, but it was like really not important. And I think they did that a lot with like the 80s things in here. It almost comes off as they were playing dress up. You know what I'm saying? Like this was just a play. I don't know. It was just really weird. Like they were playing around with these things.
And it's, like I said, we're trying to avoid the spoilers, but
there was a lot of 80s heavy things that they pointed out or included. And it was just kind of like there for no reason. I don't know. I just felt like there was no point to a lot of the things in here. It just came across as like throwing a bunch of 80s references in there.
I disagree with you on the Night Stalker thing. It was part of it. And, I can't really get into it, but it was there for a reason, as
I said why I get why
right.
They did.
So it made sense to me. It worked for me. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just disagree. Like I thought it worked really good.
That's okay. And you obviously like this movie. I obviously didn't. Yeah. I just felt like it was no depth to this movie whatsoever. It just seemed like a throw. I will never watch this movie again.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely watch it again because I agree with you. It's not like this is the greatest story ever. It's not.
It's no story.
But for me, like, because like you have films, right? Here's the best way I can describe it, right? You got films like Oppenheimer, right? Where like this is like
I've never seen Oppenheimer.
This is top tier like storytelling and filmmaking and all this stuff.
I don't know. I never seen it. I'm asking you a question.
Oh well, yeah, no. But you know, but I'm saying that as you know how much people love Oppenheimer. People like praise that movie. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is, movies like that where it's like top tier in terms of storytelling, filmmaking, like all these different things, right? And it's meant to be so engaging that you almost can't have fun with it because it's so serious. This movie to me feels like it's meant to just have a good time.
No,
and for me, it works as that. It works as a fun. I completely
disagree with that because this should have been fun, but it was fun. Not. You the only person I know who had fun with this movie.
I don't see how you can't have fun with this movie.
Well,
to be honest.
It doesn't matter. What I said is right. This movie tries to be fun, but it takes itself way too seriously, and I think that's the problem with this movie.
You think so?
Yes. Also, there is a line in this movie. This is not a spoiler. There's a line in this movie that says they want to, like the movie that they're trying to make a B movie with A movie ideas. And I think that this is what they thought they were doing with this movie, and they do not do that.
Really?
100%.
Because like for me watching it, everyone felt like caricatures of the 80s. And I feel like that was very intentional. Like, look at Giancarlo's character. Like, it was meant to be.
Obviously,
That's my
but
point.
it wasn't executed completely consistently throughout the film.
You don't think so?
No.
I felt like it was always there.
Don't
the whole
even get
film.
us started on that last act. I think they had a viewpoint of what they were going to do from, the first and second act. And they was like, okay, now what we're going to do with this ending? And that's how they was like, that's how it seemed like it came together. Like it didn't really have any kind of like clear, concise focus. It was just kind of feels like they just threw it together.
No, I felt like this is why I said this. The story arc made sense. It just, I just didn't think it was good. I think it flowed. Like it makes sense how it concluded.
Said that it didn't flow well initially. When
No. I'm talking about like the larger story arc, right?
Yeah.
I get what they were doing, but I didn't like it. Like the reveal, and I said this, right? The reveal of how it played out, I did not like, and I didn't think it was good. But what I'm trying to say is, as far as the, like where they went with it makes sense, but I feel like they could have done it differently. That's my issue.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why the movie, that for me, the conclusion element keeps this movie from being great.
Well,
and that's why for me, it's just good.
I feel like that's what I said.
What? No, you said it felt like it was tacked on, but I don't agree with that.
I didn't say it was tacked on. I said thrown together. Like it wasn't very like I don't have any issue with the whodunit. It's the how they did it. And I said like it felt like they just how we're gonna do this, and they just kind of like threw that way that they, mapped it out together.
Because like the part for me is like, and I like to kind of go with what you're saying. It's like they couldn't figure out how to reveal.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
I agree with that part. Yeah. Because like how it played out, that's fine. But I would have liked the reveal element to be different.
Right.
Because like I said, the ultimate conclusion, what I mean by conclusion, I'm talking about like the last couple minutes of the movie. I didn't have no issue with, but it's that reveal element.
Yeah.
That keeps this movie from being great for me. But like I said, I think this movie is a fun, good time. I really do. Like, I thought it was engaging. It was intriguing. I actually thought it was better than Pearl. It's so weird because like you said Pearl was better and you thought this was more boring, but I'm so flip-flop. I thought Pearl was way more boring than this movie. There was way more interesting things happening. A lot more, I think, mystery and intrigue going on. Well, because it's like just good bits.
Prequel, so there's no mystery. We knew that where she ended up, so there was no need to have any mystery in that. This one was purely of how did she become this, and we saw that play out. This one should have been
played out in a more
mysterious
fun way.
And suspense and thrilling, and that did not have. I didn't have any of that from this movie whatsoever. There was never a moment I was like, "Ooh, who is it? I can't wait to see this." Like kind of like Thanksgiving, for example. We're always like, "Ooh, who is?" Like we just couldn't figure it out. Like this, I didn't feel like that with this. And you should with a whodunit slasher.
Yeah, well, I'm not good at figuring out stuff, so I had no idea who it was up
as soon as she opened up that.
Once it got closer, that's when I pieced it together. But I'm not good at piecing stuff together, so. Like, cause some people be like, "Oh, I figured it out in the first 5 minutes."
Well, it wasn't the first 5 minutes.
That's not me.
But I was halfway and I figured it out.
Yeah.
But with Thanksgiving, I had no idea until the daggone dude actually showed his face.
Yeah, I'm just not good at figuring it out. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I think that actually helps me enjoy movies more because I feel like I see so many times people are like, "Man, I knew that shit in the first 10 minutes." I'm like, "Damn." I didn't even. Well, I don't think I was thinking about it the first 10 minutes.
I don't even care about that aspect. I don't care about who it was.
Yeah.
I just feel like the journey to getting there wasn't delivered.
I love the journey. There's moments where like, and it's I was interesting because
this is going on way too long.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead though.
Because like there was even moments I saw people talking about online that they feel like weren't effective that I thought were very effective for me.
I need to know.
Like even the suspense of certain elements,
Well, we'll talk about that off camera because I want to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But all the stuff that you said you like, I like too.
Mm-hmm.
I liked and I said this, like, I think Ty West is a great director when it comes to the technical aspects, cinematography, the shots, like the way things look, the way things sound. Like, I think he does a great job with all of that stuff. Yep. But to me, because I say this all the time, story is number one for me. Like I need a good story for me to be invested in your film. and this story did not engage me whatsoever.
Yeah, I think this story worked for me because I feel like all this film was about her trying to put her stamp and make it into Hollywood, and I wanted to see how the heck she was going to make it, and that is basically the core of this movie.
That should have been the core of the movie, but it was outshined by all the other 80s crap he was throwing on top of it. That's the point I was trying to make. Like all this other stuff was unnecessary.
I don't think that main point gets lost.
I think it's muddled. It might not be lost, but it's definitely messy and muddled. And so? I stand by that. So, all right, here's my rating. I gave it 2 stars, and I figured you would give it 3.
Yeah, I think I would go with 3.
So we'll meet in half with 2.5.
I think 3 is a good place for this. Because like I said, this movie is good. It's not great. And like I said, explained why. But I feel like her character, MaXXXine, is an engaging character. And at the end of the day, the main point was her trying to break through into Hollywood and seeing, her make it. And obviously she gets what I'm going to call a roadblock in this mystery person trying to prevent her from making it. But ultimately, I was engaged to seeing how it was going to play out. So I think for me in that aspect, it worked. Like that was the main point, and I had a good time. But I had my popcorn. I was like, babe. I'm fun, and I'm having fun, and I'm engaged.
Okay,
into seeing how this plays out. And then all the other thing is also a bonus of everything looking good, the performances, and everything else. I don't know. I think everything worked and came together really well, except for the reveal and kind of how it played out.
What happened to an ending can make and break a movie for me?
It can.
So now this one, for some reason, you don't like the ending yet you think it's such a good movie.
Well, here's the thing, and it's like I just said earlier too, right? I said the last couple minutes. I'm talking about getting close to the last scene.
Okay, so those last 3 minutes overshine the 10 minutes of ridiculousness.
No, it doesn't overshine it, but I like where the character ended up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the absolute finale, fine. But my issue is the part before that and the reveal part. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I wish that played out slightly differently. But because I liked where the character ended up, it doesn't take it away to the point where I'm like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
There's obviously movies where I'm like, I hate where the character ended up, so it ruins the whole thing. But that's really not the case with this. It's just more about I didn't like how this particular part played out, but I like where it went.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? I guess it's kind of hard to explain.
I like what they were trying to do, right? Like we have this woman, she's not going to let nothing stop her from achieving her dream. Whatever comes in her way, she's going to overcome it, however she needs to do it. Like the girl told her, you got the weekend to get your shit together. And she did that. Okay, I get all that. Mm-hmm. I just don't like it just seemed flat for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, yeah, probably about a 3. You said 2, right?
I did.
Yeah.
3 out of 5. You said 5 out of 3.
Oh, 3 out of 5. You said 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think a 3 is a good place for this. I still think X is better because I put X at like a 3.5 or 4. So I think this is a good place to put this one. But yeah, y'all, hey, look, that's what we think about MaXXXine. We try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. I think it's still spoiler-free. But you can obviously see that we kind of, stand at 2 different parts of this. You still gave it a 2, which I feel like it's still, for you,
because
it's still good.
All the other stuff to me were really good. Like I think he does, like I said, I already said, wow.
Yeah, but I think I'm more surprised because I feel like you're going in on this movie more than you went in on like Immaculate and other things that you really didn't like. Immaculate, I feel like it's on the same level of Immaculate, stuff like that. Because I get the greater point that they're trying to make, which is very similar to the point they're trying to make in Immaculate as well. Mm-hmm. I just don't like the story. Yeah. But hey, look, that's the rawness of what we think, y'all. Let us know down in the comments how are y'all feeling about MaXXXine. Obviously, it's definitely it's interesting. It's interesting though because I'm seeing a lot of the diverse talk online. Yeah. But when you go to Rotten Tomatoes, I'm talking about audience score, right? Right. Well, right now it's only 50 plus verified ratings, but it's sitting at 81%. Mm-hmm. That's pretty damn good. It is good. And then critic wise is at 74, which is also good. That also puts it in certified fresh range because that means majority of the critics liked it. I'd be curious to see how the other movies rank, but we'll talk about that maybe on another video. But let us know down in the comments, y'all. How are y'all feeling about this MaXXXine movie? Did it work for y'all? Did it not work for y'all? Where y'all sitting in terms of you on my side, you on Christy's side? How does this rank for y'all in the X trilogy? How are y'all ranking the movies? Put 1, 2, 3 down below in the comments as well. And like I said before, check out our other videos. We got other reviews. I'm sure y'all, if y'all like our realness, because we don't like bandwagon, we don't sugarcoat, we keep it real. So if you like that, you can go check out our other reviews for other films as well. If you made it this far in the video, we appreciate y'all for tuning into the entire thing. Make sure you like, make sure you comment. If you're over on Spotify and Apple, because we do put our stuff on those platforms as well, like reviews and news and stuff. Go ahead and give us a review over there to help boost our algorithm numbers there. And then on Sunday this weekend, we're going to be talking about, we do our horror news live show. So that comes out Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, where we do a live stream talking about all the horror news that came out over the week. So check that out. And that's it for this one. We're going to see you on the next one. We out. Peace.